Alright, so I want to do a quick cave engine update for you guys out there. So if you don't know, this is my engine, and it's called Cave Engine. It's free, you can use it, but this version is in development, and I'm doing quite a lot of stuff, so I'm excited to show you. I'm not gonna show all the details of it and everything, but I'm working on a new game. It will be like my main game, something very serious, and this character is actually a spoiler for this game. This character and this king will be used in some levels of the game. It will not gonna be a fighting game, so this is a capoeira movement. I'm just using it because I'm doing a lot of new stuff regarding the animation system. So I will talk about that in a moment, but just know for now that I do have a bunch of new stuff going on here in the animation system. But one thing that I'd like to show you first is that now Cave Engine supports post-processing. So you can see that the image is a little bit different, and if I go to the post-processing here, I can disable the filters, and you can see how it used to look. This is Cave Engine before the post-processing filters. You can see not very nice. By the way, it's not 100% accurate because Cave Engine used to do gamma correction before, and now it's not doing by default. You need to add a post-processing to do that, but you can immediately see that only if gamma correction and some other stuff, it gets way better and can do anti-aliasing, screen space, shadows, and ambient occlusion, lots of new stuff. And if you don't like the shader, you can click here, source code, and guess what? You can change the source code now. Here is the source code of the shader. So if you don't like it, well, no problem, you can change it. So that's great in my opinion. There's a lot of other stuff. For example, all the uniforms of the post-processing shader, you can see here, they get exposed for you as a uniform here in the UI as well, so you can adjust the settings. For example, this is the tint, and I can make everything reddish. Nice, right? By the way, I can bind some Python code here to automate like the shader binding, so this is cool. I'm excited about that as well. And I can create new features, delete features, and so on. I can do whatever I want. It's very nice. I'm excited with this new feature. And regarding shaders, something else as well is that you can also, I'm not going to do this because it's annoying, but you can set a shader override here, and you can create your own material shaders as well. This is not limited to post-processing shaders as well. And if you create a material shader, let me see if I have some stuff here. This is like my test bench project, by the way. There's a bunch of madness and random stuff here. No, I don't have a material shader anymore. But let me create it real quick. I'll just save it because, well, you never know. New asset, shader program. Here we go. So you have the Vertex shader, and you can see that I can edit the Vertex shader, and I can also edit the Fragment shader. And I do have all the uniforms as well. There's no uniform by default, but you can add some uniform, and you can do whatever you want, and you can override the shader used by the material, and all the uniforms and everything will work. So this is great. Good news. I'll delete this. I'm not gonna go into details, but this is something I'm working on. The currently released version of Cave is not does not have these new features yet. I'm working on it, and probably I will take a little bit of a while to release this because I'm working in this game, and I will be adding a lot of stuff for Cave for it to work and do what I want. Anyways, so what I'm excited about talking is now the mesh component. Let me minimize this. And regarding animations, no longer have armature or animation here. You can see the only option is the tint. I can tint my mesh, as you can see here, but you no longer have the armature and the animation here because now we do have a dedicated component for that, the animation component. And if you enable this, you can see the armature and the default animation. Still work in progress, so it does not show everything, but well, you get the point. And I can change animation here. There's a bunch of other stuff, so I'm not gonna mess with this. I'll mess. Here we go. Let me go back to the capoeira. There's a lot of blending here because I'm testing stuff again. But what is the advantage of this? Why this is important? Well, for a lot of reasons. And the first one is if you have a multi-mesh animated character, now you are kind of covered by Cave, because you can add multiple mesh components and a single animation component, and it will work with all that. I'm working on the importing part of this, because right now like Cave Engine works with this approach, but my asset importer is not importing multi-mesh animated stuff at the moment very well, so you might expect some issues. But anyways, this is a great move, and it's exactly because of that. For example, this character is a single mesh. This is not split into different meshes, but let's say that I want a different mesh for the body and for the head. Well, with this system, it will be possible to do that, and previously it was not possible. So this is the first big thing. And the second thing that I'm doing is I'm completely rewriting, like I completely rewrote how the animation is handled by Cave, and it's much more stable now and much more precise, and you can do so much more with it. But it does have some bad news. If you remember Cave, I used to have like a random animator and a character animator, which is like an animation type that basically works as a way to make your life easier, so you don't have to create animation for a character. I mean, you don't have to write code to make the character walk, run, and do something else. But it turns out like in the end, this is not exactly what you want. This is just a cool feature to show in a video, but if you are working in a real project, it's not what you end up using. And I learned that by working in this game. I'm not going to show you anything about this game. And why I decided to remove it, I could just like keep them over there. It's great for like a simple tutorial or a simple game. Yeah, I agree. But it also makes it super hard for me as a developer to keep developing Cave and keep developing the animation system. So there was a lot of stuff that I wanted to do, but I was not able to, because there was so many stuff in Cave animation system that it was simply impossible to write the correct code with no bugs or anything like that. So I removed that. So this is, you will no longer find in Cave character animator or random animator, but I'm making the system, like the current system to play animation, simple enough to compensate that. So I'm here with a very simple test, and I'm testing something that I'm about to show you. But you can see here in the update method that, well, it's very simple. I'm literally getting the animation component here. I'm doing something else here that I want to that I'll talk in 1 second, but forget about this part yet. Oh, I don't want to break the code, and only care about this one. I'm getting the animation, and then if I like press the correct key, I'm literally just playing the animation. And this is the animation blend. This is the layer that I want to use. I can use layer 0, by the way. I'm not sure why I'm using layer 1. Anyways, and this is true to keep it playing in a loop. So very simple stuff, and you can do a lot of other stuff. This returns a handle for you, so you can get the handle and do even more stuff. There's layers, and now you can stack animations in different layers, and in the future you'll be able to filter the layer by animation channel. So if you only want to animate like the upper body of the character in a specific layer to make like the character run and shoot at the same time, you will be able to. Not at the moment, but it's very close to that. I just haven't implemented yet because I'm working in this game, so I'm prioritizing the game features. But yeah, this is a great move. And what I was about to show you guys is the root motion. Yay, we finally have root motion. Thanks, Lord. Oh, this is new as well. If you're using the latest release, public release of Cave, you can see that I'm using a Python code. I'm not using a Python component, because now every code in Cave does have like this new UI. So this is a preview you can see here for you to get an idea of the code. But you can always click here in edit code, or you can even click like here without having to expand this. So if you click here, it will open the editor and you can write your code. Very simple like that, and you're good to go. You can zoom in, zoom out, well, everything that you can expect. And once you're done, you can click here to close it automatically, and that's it. Very simple, and honestly, I'm using this Python code a lot because it is persistent. By the way, if I set a variable and like test at the start method, oops, not this, it will be available in the other methods, so this is good. So I'm using this a lot. Better than creating like a Python script. This is a test script. Never mind. Anyways, you got the point. But let's jump to the root motion. You can see this capoeira animation, and this is why I'm using this in the first place. The character is moving left and right, and let's say that this is an animated character, and it does have like a capsule, a collision capsule here. This is not the case here. I'm just testing stuff, so there's no capsule or anything like that. Now let's say that you have a capsule, and then you have a wall here in, like, let's say here. And let me put, great. So let's say you have a wall. Well, the problem with this approach, with having the animation like that, is that you can see that the character, let's say that the capsule is right here, the character will very easily cross this wall. It will go behind the wall. And this is not what you want in a game. So what you typically want when you have animations like that that moves is, do not move the character like in animation space. Please give me the root motion, meaning that the like one of the root bones of this animation, give me the motion that it is having so I can apply to the box collision, to the capsule or anything like that. And this is not possible in Cave. So every single animation here, which gives you some control. So let me open the capoeira animation. You can see that now you have this new tab, which is the root motion tab. And you can select a root channel. This is all the channels that are animated by this specific animation. And I can select the hips, for example, which is like the root bone for this Mixamo rig. And you can see that I can apply this axis. By the way, this is work in progress, so the UI looks ugly at the moment, but I'm working on that. And you can see here, this is the center of the animation, the center of the object. And let's see what happens if I click X-axis. You can see, I mean, open the Z-axis and the Y-axis. Now it's ugly because it's no longer considering like the up and down movements of my animation. So let me disable the Y. And you can see here that the character is no longer moving like correctly, right, but it is also no longer getting out of the center of the object. And with this new system, what I can do is write some code. Let me go back here in the update method, and you can see that I'm getting the root motion. I need to consider the delta time. I'm working on that. I'm not sure if I want this, but well, in this case, you need to consider the delta time. So I'm getting the root motion, and I'm basically moving the object itself with this root motion. So let's see what happens if I hit play, of course, to play this game. You can see that it is moving not very accurately, but if I play the game, oh, it's still wrong. 1 second. All right, so it turns out that it's work in progress, so layer 0 would not work. I have to figure out why. So I came back to layer 1. And now, if I hit play, let me just hide this. Since I'm moving this, let's see. Play game. You can see that the character is accurately moving again as it was with the original animation. And the cool thing is, if I select this object, let me press F3 to show the gizmos, you can see that now my gizmo is following the animation. This is like the object itself, and this is so good. I'm very excited and happy about that. You can apply this, by the way, for like the character or whatever you want. Anyways, oh, by the way, I'm thinking here in real time, you don't actually need to consider like the delta time. The reason why I was considering it is because the scale of this object is not very large. Let me do some live testing here. It might not work, but let me multiply this. Instead of this, let me multiply this by 0.02, because this is actually the scale of the object. I can get the scale and multiply it, but well, you got the point, you got the idea here. Interesting. I'm thinking out loud. Yes, it's exactly. Now the feet looks perfect. I need to take that into account. Great. Yes, I'm taking notice. Anyways, you can see that the delta time, the root motion is working just fine. You can see here. And to make it even better, let me stop and show you something else. I have here another animation that I want to show, which is the running animation. You can see the character is running, but it is running in place. Great, right? But I do have here root motion, and if I disable the z-axis, you can see that I now have a very weird animation. The character is moving forward and it's resetting its position in every frame. And this is exactly why we need root motion, because I don't want the Z option enabled. I don't want to move the animation on the Z axis. Let me select this so you can see the center of the object. If I disable, you can see I don't want this. I want to apply these as a movement for the player itself. This is what I want, okay? And I don't want the Z axis in this case because the character is not moving on Z axis too much. But if now I play the game, let me just swap the animations and start running, you can see that it will run. Let me show you a different angle. And let me select this character. The game is running, by the way. This is so nice. You can see. And if I run, yay, it runs. Nice. So this is the point of the root motion. It's great. It's more accurate and you can do some more advanced stuff. So I'm very excited about that. And yeah, that's it. I've been working on a lot of stuff in Cave. Something that you guys probably don't know is that the point light now in Cave, this is a point light. You can see that it does have a gizmo now. This is new, very, very new, and I'm very excited about this. So you can click here and select the point light. You can select something else, and that's it. And you can do the same thing with an empty. So this is an empty. You can see it does have a gizmo, and you can select it and delete it. And yeah, do whatever you want. You can duplicate this point light. Now it's super bright. Yeah. Anyways, so this is what I've been working on in Cave. I'm very excited about this project, and now the root motion is almost finished, and I can finally start my process to make my actual game, and I'm very excited about that. Anyways, folks, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed that, and if you have any questions or comment, please leave in the description. My name is Guilherme, and I see you in the next video. I'll see you soon. I'm not sure. Join my Discord server. Let's hang out. I don't know. Bye.